Okay, I'd like to pick up with slides number 11 and 12 and talk a little bit about Quiznos restaurants. Quiznos was founded in 1980 out of Denver, Colorado in an old Footers restaurant, and since then it has grown to over 4,000 locations worldwide. The bulk of those locations are in the United States, but Quiznos does have an international presence and is recognized outside of the United States. If you've ever been into Quiznos, you know that the branding and the focus is really on quality ingredients and on freshness. The food is made in front of you to really emphasize that fact, and they also focus on cleanliness and the friendliness of the staff. We will also take a look at some of the money issues with Quiznos, and as we go along, we'll see that Quiznos is the lowest cost franchise to get involved in of the three we're going to discuss, but that we may also see some of the lowest potential returns of any of the investments that we'll discuss. Moving to slide 3, we'll look at some potential startup costs. The initial investment is between $180,000 and $230,000, and you'll see that's a pretty tight window. There's not a lot of range in there, and that's because Quiznos is a very consistent franchise. There is not the potential of opening a huge restaurant or a really small location. Most Quiznos follow the same plan, have the same layout, the same floor plan, and they follow a really consistent model, which can be a really good thing towards budgeting and what your expected expenses and returns will be compared to previous franchises. Third-party financing is available. The franchise fee is $10,000. The net worth requirement is $125,000 with a $70,000 requirement in liquid capital. Those are all the lowest numbers that we will see between the three franchises we're discussing. But we pair that with an annual royalty of 7%, which is the highest royalty of any of the franchises. So the easiest to get into, but you can see right off the top with the royalty, there is less potential profit available to you as the franchise owner. So we move to slide 14. We've got some rankings. The Franchise 500 ranks Quiznos as number 50, which is a very good rating. But you see, as we look at the low-cost franchises, Quiznos actually bumps all the way up to number 13, which really illustrates how strong of a low-cost option Quiznos is as a brand. The America's Top Global ranking is 44, more back towards the original ranking that we saw. Please note also that these rankings are from 2009. If you decide to proceed with the franchise, then you will immediately have to become involved with Quiznos' robust training program. That program is broken into two phases. There's a local phase and then the phase in Denver, Colorado. The local phase begins with a self-learning portion. It's a self-study, self-paced program that you do online and through some materials that Quiznos provides to you. And once you've completed that, you go to a local Quiznos restaurant to train and operate there. Once you've completed those steps, you actually go to a 6-day course in Denver, Colorado at Quiznos headquarters. And once those are complete, then you can move forward towards opening your franchise now with the skills you need to operate it properly and with the support of Quiznos moving forward. Moving to slide 16, we'll talk a little about advertising. Quiznos has a very strong brand. They advertise all over. They actually do Super Bowl commercials. I'm sure you've seen commercials or heard them on the radio. They're all over the place. And the corporate headquarters invests heavily in that advertisement. However, the franchises are expected to contribute at the local level as well. We'll move to slide 17 and discuss controversy. No discussion of Quiznos would be complete without touching on some of the lawsuits that Quiznos has been involved in recently. The most prominent one was a class action filed by all of the various Quiznos franchise owners against the corporate headquarters, and it was for racketeering charges. They asserted that Quiznos was forcing the franchisees to buy all of their products through certain specified distributors, and those distributors were marking up the prices. The suit was settled out of court, and the terms were not made public, and there was a non-disclosure agreement signed. So we may never know what really happened, but it has been settled, and Quiznos is moving forward trying to regain the trust of its franchise owners and build a stronger relationship there. Slide 18, we'll take a look at an example owner and an example case. This is from 2009, and these results are not guaranteed, but just for an idea of potential returns. In this case, the franchisee was making $40,000 a month in income, and we get a list here on slide 18 of all the expenses that that franchise owner had to pay every month. Slide 19 breaks it all down for you in percentage again, and shows that with an initial investment of around $207,000, we see an annual return of profit of $34,320, which equates to a 16% rate of return. 16% is a fantastic rate. If you could be guaranteed a 16% rate of return, you would take it every day. However, you have to remember that that $34,000 annual return doesn't include the salary that you would otherwise be making. So depending on the time investment that you would be putting into the franchise, you may want to consider part of that return a salary, and then you wouldn't be able to consider it in the rate of return. So you have to bear that in mind and take it for what it's worth. And that's going to wrap up our discussion of Quiznos, and we will move right along to Pizza Hut. Thank you very much.